For any assignment-related queries, call us at +1 678 648 4277. You can mail us at info@cfhomeworkup.com or reach us at https://www.cpphomeworkhelp.com. Problems. Function prototypes. An additional point about function prototypes that we did not emphasize in lecture is that you do not need a separate function prototype if you define the entire function above the point where it is called. If you define square before main, for instance, you do not need a prototype for square. A note on global variables. We discussed in lecture how variables can be declared at file scope. If a variable is declared outside of any function, it can be used anywhere in the file. For anything besides global constants, this is usually a bad idea. If you need to access the same variable from multiple functions, most often you simply want to pass the variable around as an argument between the functions. Avoid global variables when you can. Part 1. Fix the function. 1. Identify the errors in the following programs, and explain how you would correct them to make them do what they were apparently meant to do. cpphomeworkhelp.com. A hashtag include iostream. Int main, std, coot square, 35, return 0, int square, int number, return number asterisk number. B. A hashtag include iostream. Int square. Int main, int number equals 35, std, coot square, number, return 0, int square, return number asterisk number. cpphomeworkhelp.com. D. Hashtag include iostream. Int sum of positives, int a, int b. Int main, std, coot sum of positives, 35, 25, 3, return 0, int sum of positives, int a, int b, int sum equals 0, if a 0, sum plus equals a, if b 0, sum plus equals b, 2. What do the following program fragments do? Try to answer without compiling and running them. Briefly explain your results. A char asterisk hello equals hello world, void print hello, char asterisk hello, std, coot hello, cpphomeworkhelp.com. Int main. Print hello, this is not the hello message. B. Int mystery, int and number, std, coot number, return plus plus number, int main, 4, int I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, coot mystery, I. C. Int mystery, int number, std, coot number, return plus plus number. Int main, 4, int I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, coot mystery, I. cpphomeworkhelp.com. Part 2. Random numbers. Random number generation. C++ provides the rand function, which returns a pseudo-random integer between 0 and rand_max, a constant integer defined by the compiler. The integer returned is not truly random because the random number generator actually uses an initial seed value to determine a fixed sequence of almost random numbers. The sequence is the same each time the same seed is used. To initialize the random number generator, we call the srand function with the desired seed as an argument. This only needs to be called once in the entire program. Having one time per program initializer functions is not uncommon. The seed passed to the function is often the current time, which changes on each execution and is obtained via the time 0 function call. Once the initialization has been performed, we can just call rand each time we want another random number. Putting it all together, generating a random number looks something like this. cpphomeworkhelp.com. Hashtag include iostream. Hashtag include xlib // c standard library, defines rand, srand, rand_max. Hashtag include time // c time functions, defines time. Int main, srand, time, 0, // initialize random number generator int random1 equals rand, random2 equals rand, cout random1, random1 backslash random2, random2 end L. If we want to restrict the random numbers to a particular range, we can use the modulus % operator as follows. Int die-roll value equals rand %6 plus 1. The %6 ensures that the number is between 0 and 5, and adding 1 shifts this to be between 1 and 6, the appropriate range for a die roll. Recall that a%b returns the remainder of a/b. We can also convert the random integers to decimal values in the range 0, 1, simply by dividing by rand_max. cpphomeworkhelp.com. Double random decimal equals rand/static_cast double rand_max. The static_cast keyword creates a temporary copy of the variable in parentheses, where the copy is of the type indicated in angle brackets. This ensures that our division is done as floating point, and not integer division. This is called casting rand_max to a double. Potshots at pi. Let's calculate pi. We're not going to do it by measuring circumferences, though. We're going to do it with Monte Carlo methods, using random numbers to run a simulation. Let's take a circle of radius 1 around the origin, circumscribed by a square with side length 2, like so. cpphomeworkhelp.com. Imagine that this square is a dartboard, and that you are tossing many darts at it at random locations on the board. With enough darts, the ratio of darts in the circle to total darts thrown should be the ratio between the area of the circle and the area of the square. Since you know the area of the square, you can use this ratio to calculate the area of the circle, from which you can calculate pi using 1. We can make the math a little easier. All we really need to calculate is the area of one quadrant and multiply by 4 to get the full area. This allows us to restrict the domain of our x and y coordinates to 0, 1. A. Write two variable declarations representing the x-coordinate and y-coordinate of a particular dart throw. Each one should be named appropriately, and should be initialized to a random double in the range 0, 1. B. Place your variable declarations within a loop that increments a variable named total darts in circle if the dart's location is within the circle's radius. You'll need to use the Euclidean distance formula, d2 equals x2 plus y2. Assume for the moment that total darts in circle has already been declared. C. Now use your loop to build a function that takes one argument, specifying the number of dart throws to run, and returns the cpphomeworkhelp.com. Decimal value of pi, using the technique outlined above. Be sure to name your function appropriately. You should get pretty good results for around 5 million dart throws. Function overloading. C++ supports a very powerful feature called function overloading. This means that you can define two functions by the same name, but with different argument lists. The argument lists can differ by number of arguments, argument type, or both. When you call the function, the compiler will examine the arguments that you pass and automatically select the function whose prototype matches the arguments specified. If there is no function whose prototype matches the call, or there is more than one, i.e. the call is ambiguous, the compiler will spit out a syntax error. 2. Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to do all this modulus and subtraction stuff each time we wanted a random number? Write two functions, both called random and range, to simplify random number generation. One function should take an upper and lower bound on the range of allowed integers and return a random integer in that range. The other should do the same thing for doubles. Test your functions to make sure they produce correct results. Note, the actual random number range for both functions should be lower, upper. Your code will be slightly different for the int and double versions. cpphomeworkhelp.com. 3. Why, given your definitions for random in range, is random in range 1, 10.0 a syntax error? Hint, think about promotion and demotion, the conversion of arguments between types in a function